Yo, what's up everyone? Today I want to talk about one of the best endgame witch builds for Path of Exile 2's new Abyssal League, and it's a Chaos Lich. Now this is one of my favourite builds last season, and it's even better now. This build has incredible clear speed, it's great on bosses, and it's surprisingly easy to play. Now this build is all about setting up these chains of chaos damage, and what you see is they hit one mob, and they just travel as far as long as there are mobs, this keeps travelling. You have an Abyssal, the abyss is gone. You have, a breach, gone. As soon as you have a couple of mobs and you start this chain of chaos damage, the whole screen is wiped. It has good boss damage. It can do pretty much every content in the game. Not only that, but the gear for this is super budget friendly. There's 2 uniques I would recommend, and they're 1 exalted each if you want the basic version of these. So it's really easy to get going. You can literally finish the campaign, spend a few exalted, and be pushing very far into endgame. So yeah, this is really one of my favorites. So let's get into it. Okay, so first let's talk about the gameplay, the mechanics, and how the build works. So there's this misconception with this build that it's slow and that you're always backpedaling, waiting for dots, and that is true while you're leveling. You will feel that way while leveling. But at endgame, as you saw at the start, that's not the case. Once you've got confident with placing the order and the placing of your spells, you've got some good cast speed, you've got some good chaos damage, and you have some good gear. This is the opposite. This is a very, very fast build where you are the one putting on the pressure and you are clearing maps in minutes. So the general gameplay of this depends on how big the pack is that you're fighting. If you're just running through the map defeating like white mobs, all you want to do is drop a contagion. That's your big damage over time. Contagion is your big damage over time. So you hit that, that'll hit a few mobs, and then you defeat one of those mobs as fast as possible. So you start hitting them with Essence Drain. So you go like that, a couple of Essence Drains, and they'll be gone. Essence Drain has a 2-part to it. It has an initial hit, and then it has a damage over time element. The damage over time is like 3 times as strong as the initial hit, but we just blast a couple of like initial hits of the chaos damage, and that will take down most mobs. Once that first mob goes down that had contagion, it spreads to everyone, and that's how we start almost every single one of these fights on the maps as we're clearing maps. So that's the majority of your gameplay. Now, when you have a big pack, when you have like an Abyssal, when you're like stuck down doing a ritual, or you're doing a boss, you do a few other things. First, you drop Despair. Despair is our huge curse, and this will deal a very large amount of chaos resistance debuff. So you will take off lots of the enemy's chaos resistance. So if we drop this, it has a massive AoE. You see it takes up like the whole screen. So then everything on the screen will take more chaos damage. Then you drop a totem, and the totem will hit everything that has a chaos debuff on it, which is everything. So, small pack is just this, 1, 2, and then big pack, you're generally going debuff, totem, 1, 2. So it's not, once you got cast speed, it's not a lot, but it is quite a few more spells than something like Lightning Arrow, where you just ride around on a row pressing one button. So, yeah, that's the build. Let's get into, the gems and the tree and all that stuff. Okay, so let's go over the gems and the support gems, and I'll go into a bit of detail of why we pick what we pick and how certain things work. If you'd rather just follow the build guide, I'll link that down below. That has everything we have here. So first things first, Contagion. This is our big AoE. This is, we hit a group of enemies and they all take a dot. When one of them goes down, they spread it to everything around them. So that's our big ability for clearing maps. Along with that, we take Magnified Area, 45% more area. So that means if we're dropping this on a pack of mobs, it will hit more of them. Then we take Rapid Casting, so we can cast it faster. One of the biggest things about this build is getting our spells out fast. It can feel slow if you have low cast speed. Then we go for Prolonged Duration, so that this dot lasts longer. I think it's a 5-second dot, this extends it. Then we have Deliberation, deals 20% more damage, but more movement speed penalty while using the skill. And honestly, it just means we have to stop for like half a second. You can see that, it's like half a second, it's nothing. Then we go for Essence Drain. This is our pumper damage. It does a big initial hit, big chaos. It's great for bosses. For this, we go Rapid Casting again. We go for Swift Affliction, 30% more damage over time. We go for Zenith, 25% of the costs are recouped as mana, but 35% damage while you're above 9% of your mana, which is great. And then finally, we go for Profanity. Now you're going to see lots of people play this build with minions or play this build with the Unearth, which raises the little scorpions. And I played that last league. It's great. It's very, very strong. And they help you spread your dots. However, it's just more buttons. It's more things we have to press. However, now that we have this ability here, Profanity 2, we can gain up to 5% more chaos damage for every corpse around us. And it uses them up to deal more damage. So it kind of makes sense not to use that because the extra damage is enough to just clear everything. So I think this works a lot better this league. Then we go for Withering Presence. Actually, let's do all of our castables first, and then we'll go over our buffs after. That makes more sense. I'll reorder them. Okay, so next we got Dark Effigy. Dark Effigy is our totem. On the totem, we just drop this, and we can have one totem. If you have a piece on your gear, I think it's on a focus. If you have a focus that has +1 to totems or 100% more totems, you can place 2 of these. I don't have it right now, so I just place 1. But yeah, you can get up to 2 if you have that. So on this, we go for Urgent Totems 3, which gives us more cast speed. We go for Rapid Casting 2 to get it out faster. We go for Controlled Destruction for 25% more hit damage. And then we go for this little combo wombo here. So the way this works is we use Poison 2, and then we use Escalating Poison. And you're probably thinking, this is a Chaos build. Why are we doing Poison? And that's because the way Poison works is if we go over Poison here, you can see Poison is an ailment that deals Chaos damage over time. So Poison is actually Chaos. So you're not taking a bad thing here. You're not taking something that doesn't work with the build. You're taking something that does work well with the build. And when we have this, targets can be affected by +1 poison from support skills. What this actually does is allows us to get more hits out on the totem. I've tried it without this and with this, and it feels like the totem gets a lot more hits out. It has a lot more like what's the word, like cast speed. So I find this works really, really well. I don't think it does a significant amount more damage, but it seems to apply the hits more, which would lead to more DPS. So I'm going to test this more, but it feels like it's working really, really well. Then we have Despair. Despair, is minus 55% chaos resistance. We go for Focused Curse. So they go off faster. You can see when you drop this, there's a delay, like 1, 2, 3, and then it hits. That's when they take the debuff. So this gets that out faster. We go for Decaying. 100% of intelligence is chaos damage per second. So we also deal damage with that, which is great. Another chaos dot. 25% increased magnitude, which means they take more chaos resistance damage, more of a lowering of their chaos resistance. And then we go for Hex Bloom. Curses spread to enemies when the cursed enemy goes down. So again, once we start defeating enemies, that curse resistance reduction spreads. So as your contagion spreads, the curse spreads, and it's just fantastic. So you don't have to keep casting this. As soon as you cast it on the first pack, it spreads along. Really, really good. And that's all of our like castable abilities. Now let's talk about the buffs, the spirit buffs that we do. First, we have Blasphemy. The way this works is it casts any curse that we put in, it casts it automatically on everything around us. Now, if you're feeling really lazy, you can just use Despair, and then it will automatically do chaos resistant, which you can do. I prefer to cast that manually because it is much more significant when you cast it manually with all of these gems. So for this, we can put in Temporal Chains, and that will basically slow everything around us. Really good when you first get to endgame and all the mobs just start running at you. They're all just slowed down. As soon as they get into your range, they're slowed down, which is amazing. We can also go for Magnified Area, so we have a bigger range for them to get slowed. Withering Presence is a big dot around us. You can see everything around us becomes withered, which means they take 5% increased chaos damage taken. Amazing. We can go for Prolonged Duration, make it last longer, Chaos Mastery for extra levels, and 30% spell damage taken on full energy shield. Finally, we got Convalescence. Do not sleep on Convalescence. This is worth the extra 30 spirit. Once you can get it on your gear, you can play without it, but once you get it, grab it. It is so, so, so good. The way this works is as soon as you run out of energy shield, you just press this button and your energy shield comes back, and your energy shield doesn't get interrupted. It is no matter how many mobs are running at you, you can press this and you will survive most situations. It's so good. It's got a 30-second cooldown, which means you can use it a lot. And with cooldown recovery 2, you can bring that down to 23 seconds. Every 23 seconds, you have an amazing ability that just keeps you alive. It makes us so tanky, and it's so, 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 so strong when you're playing things like Abyss, Rituals, Breach, where there's loads of mobs just all spawning around you. So definitely would recommend that. But that's all the abilities. You can play this so many different ways, and there's a lot of really cool things you can do with this league. But this alone clears everything in the game. This alone is so strong that you can just do everything. So yeah, I definitely recommend, if you haven't played this is a great start. You can see you can get 5 gems here. You can try some new tech. You can do loads of cool stuff, but this is the perfect base to just blast hit 15 maps with no problem. Okay, so onto the Ascendancies and the skill tree. So I would start by going down the right side, max life, 10% of damage taken bypasses energy shield, no mana regen, but you regen 6% based on your max life. So the more max life we have, the more mana regen we have, which means you don't have to get mana regen nodes for that reason. On top of that, where it says like you take damage through your energy shield, that is removed by this one here. Your life cannot change while you have an energy shield. So it says here, 10% of the damage goes through your energy shield, but then your health doesn't move. So you're basically just stopping 10% of damage, which is really, really nice. Then I would come down the left side, I would get 20% more energy shield, and I would get this. Spells deal 30% more damage when sacrificing energy shield. Does not enter recharge. Sacrifice 5% of energy shield when you cast a spell. So then I would personally run down the left side here and grab Rupture the Soul, which gives us a good chunk of damage until you have a decent gem. When you have a decent gem, I would put a gem in this slot here. Right now I've got spell damage, chaos damage, cast speed, which is really nice. And it doubles, let's see there, look. It doubles the gem. It makes the gem twice as strong. So really, really, really nice. So that's, 20% cast, 20% chaos damage, 16 spell, and 6 cast speed. So it's an amazing node. Like 1 point there gives you so much. But I'd start here until you have a good gem. Okay, now before we talk about the passive tree, I want to talk about weapon switching, because I know, I'm looking at you, there's some people out there that will refuse to weapon switch. They haven't learned it, they don't understand it, it's confusing, it's too much work, it's too much hassle, I don't want to have 2 weapons. This one's for you. I'm going to show you how you can have the weapon setup where you have the weapon switch. It's instant. You don't need 2 weapons. It all happens with your only 1 weapon, and you gain double the amount of skill points that you would have before. So for example, if we look at this little section here, you gain all of this chaos damage, enemies are withered, extra chaos damage when you use a chaos ability, and then when you use a curse, you gain curse duration and all of the curse benefits. When you cast a chaos ability, you gain everything that's pink or orange, whatever this color is. And then when you cast a curse, you gain everything that's green on your skill tree. No weapon switch, no setup, no effort. It's all automatic. So let's talk about how to set that up, because you're missing out on so much. And if you're finding this build sluggish, slow, I'm always backpedaling, it's probably because you haven't set it up with weapon switching. So here's how you do it. If you do weapon switching, have 1 weapon with like plus to chaos on, and then loads of chaos damage, and then 1 that's really good for cursing. Even better. I'm still using 1 right now because I just haven't got around to it. So here's how you set this up. When you have the weapon switch here, so what you would do normally is you would have weapon set 1 and weapon set 2. Everything that has weapon set 1 would gain the benefits of your weapon set 1 in the passive tree. And then when you switch, this gains all the benefits from weapon set 2, right? However, we don't want to switch weapons. We're lazy. We want to keep 1 weapon for everything. So we lock them. We lock them here, and they have these little, I don't know what you call them, little spikes around them. That means it's locked, and it means that we are using both the same item in weapon set 1 and weapon set 2. So now, when we go into our skills, all we do is we assign which of our spells will be assigned as weapon set 1 spell, and which will be assigned as a weapon set 2 spell. So for example, our Contagion here does chaos damage over time. So you want to come in here and set it up as weapon set 1, so it gains all the benefits in the passage tree when we go weapon set 1, more chaos damage, extra chaos damage. It gains all of those buffs if you say it in weapon set 1. We go to Dark Effigy, this is chaos damage, so we set it in weapon set 1. Despair is a big curse, so we set this as weapon set 2. So when we get all of the curses are bigger, curses are more potent, it gets all of those benefits. We go Blasphemy, this is again a curse. So for Blasphemy, we have it as weapon set 2. Withering Presence is a damage over time, so we would go for chaos. And then Convalescence is neither, so it doesn't have anything down there. So that's how we set this up. And that means we are using weapon set 1 for Essence Drain, and for example, weapon set 2 for Despair. But look at our weapon switch. 1, 2, 1, 2. There's no delay. There's absolutely 0 delay. So there's no reason not to do this. It is so much more damage, and the build becomes so much better. Okay, so now let's go over the passive tree, and I'm just going to talk where we use each different weapon set. All you do if you want to change the points is say you wanted to go down here, for example, into here. Normally you would just click it. If you wanted to put a weapon set point in there instead, you would click weapon set 2 and put a point in, and now it's like branched off, and it only gains those benefits when you're in weapon set 2. That's how it works, and you can take them off just as easy. Okay, so we start down here, we run up the left side, we grab spell damage and intelligence, we run along the right and we gain 6% cast speed and we gain energy shield. We come off to the left and we want to wrap around this whole section here and into the middle, which gives us cast speed, and a bit of chaos resistance. And then we do weapon set 1 for all of this chaos damage, leading to 29% chaos damage and more defenses. We run down the middle here and we grab chaos damage and skill effect duration. We go up the right there and we get a bit of energy shield. we come up to the middle and we grab this cluster here for spell damage, and reduce cast speed. It's worth it for the spell damage. Down the right side, we take this big cluster of energy shield. We take this thing up here for mana regeneration rate. You will understand why we do that soon. We come up and grab this thing here, which is on weapon set 1 for extra chaos damage. And then we come along here and we do this for weapon set 2, which is curses, curse magnitude, and all that stuff. Right. Running up the middle again, we want to grab the socket. We want to come along and we want to get all of this in here. Chaos damage, just do this normally, because we don't have enough weapon set points to do everything. Down to here for energy shield, and energy shield from equipped helmet. Then you want to run along the right on weapon set 2 to grab all of these curse magnitude, and curse duration. Run along the top. Then we go left, we grab all of this energy shield and run along and get the gem. Along the right, we come down here on weapon set 2 and get all of the curse duration again. We come along to the top, all of this on weapon set 1 for chaos damage, and chaos skills levels. We grab all of the energy shield nodes along there. We come along here. We grab this here for spell damage. We come along here and we grab all of this on weapon set 1 for chaos damage, on withering enemies, chaos damage. And we grab all this down here on chaos set 2 for curse duration and all that stuff. And the only other thing we take is this key node here. You can apply an additional curse, but they take longer to apply. And that means we can do our withering curse, the slow on our blasphemy, and we can do our manual despair curse. So yeah, that's the whole skill tree. And I'll do an extra like 10, I'm like level 86. I'll throw another extra 10 points on the planet, but once I work out where's best to put them, but it'll likely be more energy shield. So yeah, that's everything. So how do we gear this? This is a very, 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 very affordable, budget-friendly thing to gear. I've got a few more better pieces in the last, well, pretty much just yesterday, I got a few upgrades. So some of my pieces are worth a fair bit, but I started out doing tier 15 maps in very, very budget gear. So first up, let's talk the uniques. We take 2 uniques, and these uniques are, like I say, the basic version of these, the worst version is 1 exalted, and a few more exalted will get you an even better one. So we go for at Ziri's Disdain on the helmet, 80 mana, you get rarity, and you get 10% of damage taken bypasses your energy shield. So that, again, prevents more damage that you would normally take, and we don't get that because our health doesn't move. We have the thing where our health doesn't ever move while we have energy shield, so we don't take that 10% damage. So it's just completely gone, which is incredible. And then 15% of max life is extra energy shield. Again, amazing, because that's huge. Right now I've got like 1.6k life, and that just, is a massive chunk of extra energy shield. So this is really good. I would say starting out, when you're like level 70, you're maybe better off with a normal helmet. That if you don't have a lot of health on your gear, maybe stick with a normal helmet. Once you get to like 80, once you start getting some good gear, move over to this. Next one is the Wave Shaper. You get energy shield, you get spirit, you get fire res, you get cold res, and then increases and reductions to mana regen also apply to energy shield recharge rate. So if you're not familiar with energy shield recharge rate, it is how quickly your energy shield is recovered once it starts recharging. So it's not when it comes back, it's how fast it fills. So that means that when we're in the passive tree, I was saying, get this mana regen, get this mana regen. Because of our Ascendancy, we don't get mana regen. Our mana regen is just based on how much HP we have, right? But now our mana regen brings our energy shield back faster. So it's a massive win-win. And then we gain 33% of mana as armor, which is just a nice little bonus. This is a really, really nice chess piece, and I would get this as soon as you can. So that's the 2 uniques. Now let's talk about your defenses. You're mostly going for, on your defenses, resistances. You want to get resistances everywhere. Unlike some builds, we don't care as much about like lightning on gloves and attack damage on gloves. So you just get energy shield and defenses. That's pretty much all I went for. You could put a cast speed gem in there, which is very nice. If you get a 2-socket hand, amazing. Again, on the belt, resistances and life. We want life everywhere we can get it as well, because life factors in, we've talked about it loads, into everything else. So get life wherever you can get it. On the boots, 35% movement speed is the goal, and then energy shield and resistances. On the amulet, you kind of want to get +2 levels to spell skills if you can find it, and then you want to get energy shield as well. The only other thing you could get there is spirit. If you can get a spirit one, you can do some more cool stuff, put some more support gems in. But you don't need it. I don't have it right now. And that's your defensives. On your rings, you just want chaos damage. I'll show you a budget ring here. This was a budget one, 27% chaos damage, life, and resistances. That's pretty much all you need. Chaos damage, life, resistances. This one here was a bit, you know, less budget. I crafted this myself, so I got quite lucky, but it's 42% increased chaos damage, cast speed, and resistances, and life. That's like the goal. That's what I'd be going for. I think that's as high as you can get on chaos damage. Yeah, that's like 30%. And then you can, if you get breach rings, you can increase this. So this was 30% chaos damage. And then by using the breach items, to increase the chaos damage, you can get that up to 42, which is 12% more chaos damage, which is incredible. So breach rings let you do a lot more and increase those significantly more. If you've never played and you're new, that it's just these items in, it's these things here. These things that drop from breaches. There is one that works for chaos damage. This one here, Chayula. Enhances the chaos modifiers on a ring. So you would just use this on your ring and it would increase the stats of up to 40% more chaos damage. So that's what I do with your rings. Okay, now for the weapons. This is where most of your damage will come from. So spell damage, chaos damage are key. You need both of those as high as you can get it. The bigger your budget, the bigger they can go. They can go to like 100, I think. So you want to get them as high as you can. Now, on top of that, plus levels to chaos spells is massive as well. Cast speed is really, really good as well. That's kind of what you're looking for on your wand. And then on a focus, spell damage, chaos damage again, and then levels to spell skills again is really, really good. So that's kind of what you want to be looking for. And again, the bigger your budget, the more you can do here. And I'm going to give you a secret tip here. This is a little crafting tip to craft your own gear that I've been using. And if you made it this far, welcome to the crafting guide of the video. I'm going to do a full crafting guide at some point, but let's just give you some tips to craft your own rather than paying 5 divines for a weapon that costs someone 1 divine to make. So if we get, say, a wand, try and grab a wand with a decent amount of chaos damage. This one has 100. I paid like 15 exalted for this, which is fine. So try and grab a wand, and essences are broken. So if we go into essences, and you want to grab an essence of sorcery, it literally costs like, is this 3 for 1? Less than 1 exalted orb. Okay, less than 1 exalted orb. We use this. We now have a 100% chaos damage, 79% spell damage, which is broken, right? That's insane. And then what we want to do here, and now you can start doing fancy stuff. You can start using, you know, the abyssal items to desecrate and try and create like really cool abyss. I'm just going to show you something super easy. I'm just showing you the easiest thing you can do here. Now what you want to do is you want to fill it. You want to fill all the modifiers, and we fill the modifiers with exalted orbs. So we just go, you know what? Let's use greater exalted orbs just in case, because then we get better rolls if we do roll something. All we really want is +4 to all skills, which we've got here. And then you want cast speed. Cast speed is really, really nice. So if we go like this, we got mana. We got 22% cast speed, which is beautiful. And then we got, I don't even know, mana per enemy defeated, right? So that's really good. Now, well, we didn't get levels. We didn't get levels. Well, we can go to the essences again, and we want to get an essence of sorcery again, but we want the perfect one. I don't have any, so we'll go back to Angie, the greater essence of sorcery. Now we want to get the perfect one, the perfect essence of sorcery. This is 5 exalted. So again, we're talking like 20 exalteds we've spent so far, maybe 30. I don't know. I'm not keeping track. We get a perfect one. And what this does is this will add +3 levels to all spell skills on a focus or a wand. Now, you might be thinking like, oh, I'm going to lose all my really good rolls. I'm pretty sure this only removes the things at the bottom, the suffixes. So mana, cast speed, and life per enemy beaten. So we have like a 1 in 3 chance of hitting cast speed, which we don't want to do. The other 2 things are good. So we've got a 66% chance of this going well. So we're going to use this, we're going to use it, and it took off cast speed. Try not to do that, okay? So either way, if you're new, if you're new to this build and you're just starting, you've now got a 79% spell damage, 104% chaos, +3 to all spell skills, which is incredible starter weapon. And what we just did there is I think it's exactly the same on a focus. Like I say, full guide coming soon for crafting, but I think you can do the exact same thing on your focus. But you can use this for a while, try and make another one down the line when you've got a few more exalteds, and maybe you'll get the cast speed as well. Yeah, so I hope that helps. I didn't want to talk too much about crafting, but I know lots of people early on are really struggling and they're paying silly amounts for really basic crafts that people are making just as easy as that. So I put it at the end. If you made it this far, little treat. Yeah, get yourself some juicy gear, maybe even sell some. Hey, make some juice early on. But yeah, that's it. That's it for the guide. Hope you find this useful. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you like the build. Let me know if you tried it. Let me know if you have any tips, anything you change. This has gone on longer than I thought, but thank you for watching. Take care. Subscribe for more as well. Thank you. Thank you to everyone who has so far. It's been amazing. But yeah, I'll catch you in the next one.